Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a Woman Wednesday here on A Liquid Lunch. I'm Fernando Uribe, filling in for the illustrious John Tobacco. He'll be back on tomorrow at 12 noon, so you definitely want to tune in for that. But folks, it is indeed a Woman Wednesday. We have just a great topic to talk about here. And joining me this afternoon is Miss Michelle Esquenazi. And I apologize, Michelle. She is the president of the National Association of Bail Agents, the NABA, and also she's the CEO of Empire Bail Bonds right here in the Empire State. Joining us here today on A Liquid Lunch. Michelle, how are you?
Great. Hi, New York. How are you?
What's going on? It's good to have you here. Now, Michelle, certainly in the news cycle recently, I know last week during the vice presidential debate between Vice President Pence and his opponent coming up on November 3rd is the senator out of California, Kamala Harris. Now, during the debate, the junior senator from California promised to end cash bail should the Biden-Harris ticket get elected on November 3rd. Certainly, this is your avenue and your cup of tea. What should concern us about this move by the Biden-Harris ticket?
Well, I mean, it should concern everyone across America, regardless of political ideology, because there's two things that they don't tell you. And one is that when you cancel bail, eradicate bail, you publicly fund it on your tax dollar. So I don't know many Democrats, liberals, or conservatives or Republicans that really want to finance criminal release, or they really want new parks and schools and elderly programs in their communities, right? So that defies political ideology. That's thing one. And thing two, what ends up happening is the mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle that normally make the decision about their addicted family member getting out of Rikers Island no longer have that ability to make the decision. It's big government making the decision to blanket release almost all offenders. And it's a public safety nightmare, to be honest with you.
It really is. And let's look at New York City and New York State, for that matter, as the model under Governor Cuomo and certainly under the quote leadership or lack thereof of Mayor Bill de Blasio. Look at the outright disaster that cash bail has been in New York.
Yes, our state association, of which I was the president for 12 years, was deeply entrenched in the lobbying effort to ensure that this did not happen to the good people of the state of New York. So I've been going to Albany on this issue since 2013. So the Republicans essentially held this off for many, many years in New York. But once the Senate went blue and we essentially had a blue trifecta up in Albany, we knew that essentially the people of New York were going to be in trouble, and so was law enforcement. And they pushed it through, and then it went into effect on January 1st, 2020. Unbeknownst to them, I mean, the criminal recidivists ran amok. They were robbing banks, raping, pillaging, and they were just having a field day. And what it did was it forced Governor Cuomo to take a look at it and roll it back by about 40% in the New York State budget 3 months subsequent to its rollout, which has never happened historically in the United States.
Michelle, it's been discussed on this program thoroughly. I talk about on my own media programs, the disasters that are blue mayors, blue states, blue governors. Why isn't there more public outcry when we talk about the ineptitude of these liberal policies?
I think because a lot of us, including myself, I mean, I come from a Cuban-American family. A lot of us grew up, especially in New York, in a Democratic household, right? So we were still taught to respect law enforcement. We were, it was still a very union strong place to be in terms of being in the Democratic Party. But somewhere along the line, the Democratic Party just completely moved over to the left of the left of the left of the left and has become this very militant, progressive entity that very few people can associate with. I mean, that's what I think.
Listen, you hit it right out of the ballpark with that observation, Michelle, and I agree with you. I think we're seeing the disasters of these cities that have been run by liberals, more so in New York. But listen, look at the disasters around the country. I just rolled up a list of cities in a previous segment where it's amazing to me that liberal media doesn't call it out more. It seems like they're enabling or even complicit in sort of covering up for these liberal mayors and liberal governors where they're downright disasters and they're inept. I don't understand why there isn't much more of an upheaval at the voter box in these states and cities.
Well, I mean, I think the answer to that is pretty simplistic because the same militant arm owns all the media. I mean, the president calls it out all the time. So One America News, which is a small family-owned entity, Fox News, maybe Newsmax. There are very few news entities, including yours, that are willing to call these things out. But generally, Channel 2, 4, and 7, which my parents are accustomed to putting on, they change the clicker. That's what they watch, right? So that's the news that they're being fed. It's almost like North Korea.
You know, it's really disappointing once again that the liberal media is so, again, they're covering up for the incompetence of these liberal mayors and governors. And I really wish that more people woke up to this, though, Michelle. I think they are. And I think we'll see that coming up on November 3rd. Any predictions coming up on election night for you?
I do, because I think that the silent majority and the people that are on the fence about this issue are really concerned. And I think that the people that are not putting Trump signs in their front lawns because they don't want their homes burned down by arsonists and things like that, I think that they're going to come out, because I think that public safety defies political ideology. We all want a sense of safe community.
You're absolutely right on that. And wasn't it interesting during the entire Democratic National Convention, you didn't once hear the words law and order. You didn't even see a segment about the importance of keeping our communities clean and orderly, right? You even heard talk about defund the police. It seems all calculated by the left in this country, though, Michelle. And I've talked about it. It's going to backfire on them. As you just said, I think there's a silent majority of people that, you know what, they'll just talk about it in their living rooms and their dining room tables. They won't talk about it on social media. They'll let their talking do it for them at the ballot box. What do you think, real quick?
I totally agree with you 100%. And I believe that President Trump is going to win by a landslide.
Wow. I mean, listen, I don't know about that one. I think he's going to win. I think it's going to be close. The only reason it's close, Michelle, tragically, is because of states like New York and California that don't believe in law and order, that don't believe in community, and don't believe in quality of life anymore. And it's a shame of what's happened. So, Michelle, we want to thank you for joining us here, right here on Liquid Lunch. Real quick, where can people find out more information about the National Association of Bail Agents?
They can go to the National Association of Bail Agents.com, and you can join up as a friend of bail. It is only $50, and we encourage all of you to support the 8th Amendment.
Wow. You know what? Well said there, Michelle. I know you mentioned CEO of Empire Bail Bonds. Where are they located? Are there various locations throughout the New York area?
Empire Bail Bonds is located all over the state of New York. Because of COVID, we do a lot of stuff on the color TV now and the computer, but we're here for a family-owned company. We've been in business for 30 years in New York, and we're very proud of what we do.
Michelle, very quickly, any potential difficulties even during COVID with trying to provide bail and the services that your company is conveying?
You know what? We've been able to do a bang-up job releasing the accused during COVID, so go bail.
Okay. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us here on a Liquid Lunch. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.